Welcome to the Unclehack Podcast, where dudes pretty much just talk dude shit.
Welcome to another episode of the Uncle Hack Podcast. What do I got in store for you this weekend? December 31st, Banff, the New Year's Eve extravaganza. Then January 1st, we are in Calgary with another Danger Room. That's right, the world famous, or at least locally known Danger Room, where it is a safe space for dangerous ideas, ladies and gentlemen. All the naughty comics that aren't allowed to tell naughty jokes in Canada, they come and hang out with us in this fabulous location of the Comedy Cave in Calgary. Then January 13th, we are in Peace River. January 20th, Calgary, Alberta for a roast battle. That's right. I put the title on the line, Daddy, against Charles Haycock. And then January 21st, Rocky Mountain House. January 28th, we are in Camrose. February 2nd in Kindersley. And February 3rd for Provost. Coming in the new year, we will be dropping dates for when we're heading out east, which is we're just securing up that little tour heading out to the eastern side of Canada. Isn't that nice? We've been meaning to get out there for a minute, so it'll be exciting to see some new faces, and remind everybody on the East Coast why they suck. I'm just fucking around. What's going? Oh God, Christmas. Christmas is over. Okay, Christmas is done. Pack it in. Throw the tree out the front door. It's over. Now it's like that weird time of like Christmas and New Year's where you're like lost and like work isn't going to pick up. So you're just like moping around. Usually this time of year, it's nice and cold. And when I say nice, I'm being sarcastic. It isn't fun freezing your bag off for those down south that are enjoying a little bit of warm weather. We are jealous up here. It has been like minus fucking 20. It was minus 40 for a minute there. Here I am being a homo talking about the goddamn weather. But that weird period, right? You get over it. But Christmas is now done. It's over. It's wrapped up. Myself personally, not a huge fan of the holiday. Too much stress. People are fucking dumb. It irritates me, the ignorance that we have. We just put fake kindness at the forefront and walk around with these simple, stupid questions. Like, are you ready for Christmas? Are you all ready? You know, every time that you go, you peel into the grocery store, you pop into all the department stores to gather all these gifts. I mean, online shopping does knock a little bit of that off, but you're a dude, you know, stuck in stubborn ways. Usually, if you're anything like me, you wait till last minute, then you get out and you sift around in the mall for a few hours and just like kind of have a guided path that you're like on a guided hunt for these gifts and you get hit with the same fucking questions every time. That's what I noticed. It's always this, are you all ready for Christmas? Are you all ready for Christmas? It's like, listen, I was born ready for this, okay? I was born. You don't think that I can't get blackout drunk? You think I need a pep talk? You think I need a fucking David Goggins speech to dumb me a bottle of spiced rum and make an ass out of myself? You think I need to prepare myself for that? Get out of here. Give your head a shake. Do you know who you're talking to? Do you know who you're talking? Listen, I don't need a holiday to embarrass myself in front of my loved ones. In fact, all I need is a few hours alone, a couple, a few bottles of the the finest spiced rum, maybe a bottle of whiskey in there if I'm planning on getting divorced that night. Are you all ready for Christmas? Get out of here with that question. Drives me up the wall. How is anybody ready for Christmas? You know, the onslaught of racing around the city, dinner to dinner. Divorced families, those ones are always a treat. You know, you got 4 dinners to go to in 2 days. Packing up the kids, racing around, trying to get out. Wow. Oh, it's a shame that you couldn't stay longer. Well, you get hit with that question from mom or dad. They're always, oh, God, why is this happening? Well, what was that? You know, you get hit with that question. Your divorced parent, oh, you're going over there? Then you get, oh, fuck, here we go. Here we go. Mom's got a few bottles of wine in her, and it's time to let loose on old skeletons on inside the closet. Now you're going over. Well, why don't you tell that fuck face? I say go fuck yourself, right? There's always one of those interactions, and you head over to the new the other family, and then your wife's parents, they're divorced. So you got to jump around. There's all these hoops that you go. You're packing your kids around like you're doing a tour in Iraq, like city to city. You know, it's a battle out there. And most dudes that I know, they just want to sit, kick up their feet, and get blasted. And this year we were blessed with some sports. You know, see all the men gather around the TV with some sports, and all you want to do is just fill your fat mug with calories and beers and, you know, maybe an old fashioned to put a nightcap on it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I heard that the other day. I'm in a store. Are you all ready for Christmas? Kiss my ass. Kiss my ass. No one is ready for Christmas, okay? We've been locked indoors for 2 years being told that our family is the goddamn devil. They're carrying around a virus that's going to murder grandma. That's going to murder grandma. But this year, you know what? This year, they set you all free, you know? They set you all free to go and argue. You know, let's get the politics at the dinner table going. Oh, you got the booster? You got the booster? You're gonna die. Everybody's yelling at one another. You just had to ruin Christmas, didn't you? That's because you're a fucking conspiracy theorist. Oh, I'm a conspiracy theorist. You're gonna die from myocarditis. And it's on. That's when you just sit. You gotta plant those little bombs, you know, you lay those little bombs. You just, oh, I heard you're going in for your booster. And make sure that the one guy that's against it, guy or girl, you know, we can't be biased here. There's people that are against the boosters, right? And I don't get, you know, look, I'm not saying you should trust the government or even our top medical staff at this point. You know, I think everybody got it wrong. I think and now some people are getting some stuff right, and we're using that to our advantage. It's a long drawn out game of chess, and right now nobody's winning. Nobody's winning. We're not even getting remotely close to finding a winner of this, right? It's a fucking dude. This is war on the Gaza Strip right now. It's never, ever, ever going to end. But you got to find a little ounce of entertainment out of it from time to time. You got to stoke that fire over there, stoke the right-wing fire in the family, right? And then there's always that one cousin that's back from university, you know, left the town, left the stable to go and better themselves and get a proper education there in town. They just so happen to be in town, and they're vocal on Twitter, and you know how they lean. So you go over there and you just put in and be like, oh, did you go? You're booked in for your booster, are you? You're booked in for your booster? and then just say it in earshot. So that way you get some sort of entertainment, because you can't rely on the game to carry it through, right? Sometimes whatever game's on, it's pretty boring, right? There's not enough. Sports is removing the violence that we all grew up on. My era, we grew up on the violent end of sports, right? Hockey, football. We loved just watching somebody get demolished. There was excitement with that. Seeing some guy get trucked in the middle of the field, center ice. The violence that ensued in these sports is slowly getting removed. Our concussion protocol, all these things. We're just putting more bubble wrap on everything that we love, right? So you gotta sometimes be creative in the moment and just create the drama that you want to see, right? You want to see a political debate that's going to take place in the basement of grandma's house around a pool table, right? Or whatever it may be, one of those old bars that are on the wheels that grandma's had since the 70s, and everybody's gathered around there. We're about to have a shooter of Baileys or something fun, a little tasteful, like that milky tequila shit, Baja Rosa, a quick shot of Baja Rosa. Get the family into it. And then let's start the debates. Let's get everybody upset. Let's ruin Christmas. We've been deprived of it for 2 years now. The government didn't want us hanging out with one another because it could have murdered. But, now let's get everybody together. Remind us all why we're so depressed so that way they can medically assisted suicide you, legal murder you because, life is bad. It's horrible. Your family hates you. You're divided. Headlines have caused you to believe you're smart. And in reality, you're a moron. All of us barely got by with these government textbooks. And here we are, screaming and yelling at one another. It's a beautiful time of year. So when you ask me, am I ready for Christmas? Of course I am. I'm ready for all the nonsense to ensue in front of my eyeballs so I can sit back, laugh, and hopefully write a joke about it. That's what it's all about. It's about getting to the bottom of everything, right? Exactly what the Canadian government is up to these days. And we're gonna let's stop that right here. Which the Canadian government has been very adamant this holiday season on really promoting getting yourself jabbed up again. Get a new one in you. Get refreshed. It's like an oil change, Every 9 months you should be in there getting poked in the eyeball with something that you don't even know what the hell it is at this point. We don't even know if it works. It clearly doesn't, but it doesn't matter. It's about being a good person this holiday season. It's about being an excellent person. It's about putting your best foot forward and protecting the community. So, Big Trudy, this is going to be a lot of ripping on Big Trudy this episode, which is fun for me at times because the nonsense that goes on in government, in the content that they're producing is like, boy, if only CBC comedy was a quarter as funny as what they're doing, we would be the greatest country for producing comedy ever. But the government decided to take that on their hand. This is great. The best, Big Trudy tweets this out. Oh, excuse me. The best way to stay healthy and to stay in the game is to keep your COVID-19 vaccinations up to date. If you're due for one of your shots, click here and find out where and when you can get it. That's the tweet, and attached to it is this video, which I will describe. 1.1 million views. Big Trudy is really turning into that influencer I thought he was. But it's funny. So there's an old boy out in the middle of the street, no snow on the ground. He's out there in the middle of the street and hasn't, I will give him props on the old school Jofa helmet. So he's playing street hockey, dressed up as a goalie. He's got a Jofa helmet. kind of one, for those listening, if you're a hockey fan, something similar to what Kelly Rudy wore back in the day. And it's yellow and red, just an atrocious color scheme. It's like the Flames colors from the 80s. And this old bugger is out here playing street hockey by himself as a goaltender. So already I'm questioning what the fuck is going on here. A schizophrenic is remember when you were a kid and you would be in the basement and be like, oh, he's coming out of the way, using your imagination to like create plays and somehow you're the hero in all of them. I think that's what this guy's doing out in the street here.
COVID-19 vaccines got us back in the game.
Yeah, this old man here. Now we got 3 lunatics on rollerblades booting down the street. And Father Time is just playing goalie by himself. You know, we got one kid in the corner playing basketball, but the adults are in full hockey gear, booting down the street to take slap shots at Grandpa.
But Omicron changed the rules.
Omicron changed the rules. Okay. You imagine that? First off, let's talk about this video, okay? Anybody in their right mind who's ever played street hockey, there was always that one idiot that came out, right? This is very Canadian, okay? For the American listeners, I apologize, but this is very Canadian and very Canadian-esque. But there was always that one nerd that thought he could be the cool kid and wear his rollerblades in a game of street hockey. And then let alone that, you know, they're really taking safety to the next level because they are in full-blown ice hockey gear, not street hockey gear, right? Full-blown ice hockey gear in a cul-de-sac, what it looks like. And now these 3 morons come booting down the street in their rollerblades. 3 adult males. So if you're wondering if mental illness is a thing here in Canada, I am here to assure you it is. And sometimes, you know, I'm highly against this whole MAIDS thing, like that medically assisted suicide. But when you see this, it starts to pull you in the other direction. You're like, okay, maybe a few. Okay, maybe a few. It would get rid of, you know, it would get rid of 3 full-grown men. And I understand it's commercial. Don't worry, I'm not. I am an idiot. Don't kid yourself. I am a moron. But they're all 3 of them, last name COVID, and all wearing number 19 as if they're like the Hanson brothers, except more retarded, you know? That's what it is. It's like they're the Hanson brothers, but they can't beat a virus. You know, they can't beat the vaccine for some reason. They cannot beat the vaccine. In this commercial right here, the Hanson brothers are portrayed as these losers in rollerblades. 3 grown men. One is this guy on the far right has a left-handed stick as a right-handed player. So when I say they're retarded, I'm not blowing this out of proportion, okay? In fact, I'm right on the money. You know? There was always that kid. So in a way, but 3 of them is like, holy shit. The whole family? What are they, inbred? What's going on here? All right. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, there it is. So look at that. Look at this. Old Willy Wonka over here comes bolting down the street and he's going to take a slap shot. Okay. He's got a left-handed stick and he's taking a right-handed slap shot. What is this? Happy Gilmore? I understand that hockey is an expensive sport to play. I totally get that. But as a grown man, and you got everything, full-blown gear, right down to the rollerblades, and you couldn't even get the stick right? Who's writing these commercials? Is somebody, I get it. It's a little bit of a gag. You know, somebody who wrote it, I hope to God, was like, you know, that, or they brought 3 left-handed sticks, and the one guy's like, I shoot right-handed. I don't know. They're like, whatever. Nobody's going to fucking notice. Who gives a shit? This is a government-funded goddamn commercial. Let's make our money and just move on. Let's just move on. Shoot the commercial. Shut the fuck up. It's done. It's going to be an hour of your time, and we're going to give you $10,000. Oh, yes. Yes. The neighborhood watchwoman has now dropped her coffee. Everything is going to hell here. The world's paused. The puck is in the air. The old man who is playing goaltender by himself has now weaseled up to check out what's going on with this guy. He's looking him dead in the eyes, thinking to himself, I thought I was insane for out here playing imaginary hockey with nobody.
Now it's important to maintain protection because, as we all know, the game.
And somehow he got a new upgraded helmet. He went from a Jofa to the brand new Bauer. Santa comes early in this commercial. There's a lot going on here, and I respect the hell out of these guys for attempting it.
Is not over.
Oh, yeah.
Keep up to date on your vaccination.
God almighty, I can't stand this shit. First off, there's way too much with this going on. Those pads are sick. He's got pads from the 70s, grandpa's, but the rollerblades is what's throwing me off. No kid in their right mind. Listen, if your kids are out there playing street hockey and rollerblades, there's something incredibly wrong with your parenting, and I question you as the adult. Don't let your kid be the only one out there in rollerblades fucking up the game for everybody. He's always over skating the ball. And these guys are out here using a puck in the street, which is genius. I am all for that. Please, dear, that is exactly what I want to see. Adults in the street playing street hockey, right? Full-blown gear, shooting pucks, full-on, like Al McInnes slap shot, grabbing it from the heavens and sending one sailing right at the old bugger's head. That's my kind of hockey right there. Head high, slap shots at everybody, keeping them all worried. Everybody's on their toes. Everybody's like, what the hell? You know, they're looking at you. What the hell is wrong with you? What are you doing? Go home.
To stay in the game.
Stay in the game. The government of Canada. It's beautiful. That's what I mean. They're on full on trying to really, really push us into this. And time for a little ad read. DangerCatShop.com for all tour dates that are coming up. We are dropping more and more dates as time moves on. That's right. We're traveling all across Canada and slowly making our way down to the United States of America. We will be there shortly. Patreon.com/DangerCat69. Patreon.com/DangerCat69. Link down in the description down below. You want to support this podcast? You want more episodes of this podcast? You enjoy the stupid shit that's said on here, the moronic ideas that I have stored inside my skull? Well, guess what? There's an extra episode every week on our Patreon. That's right. Thursday at 3 p.m. when this podcast that you're listening to right now, another one is dropped on the Patreon. An extra episode. Plus this one that you're listening to right now, you'll get 48 hours earlier than everybody else. Oh, wow. Isn't that amazing? And it's a wonderful way to support the show. Isn't that great? You can support the show. Plus, there's extra behind the scenes footage and roast battles. Danger Cats Roast Battles is hosted on our Patreon. So if you have been and you wanted to rewatch, or you're always interested in listening to people be very vulgar to one another, please check out patreon.com/DangerCat69. We have roast battles, exclusive episodes of the unclehack podcast, and behind the scenes footage, all for you. Anyways, back to the episode. For us, that's what it's like in Canada right now. We're just like, the Americans, I don't even think they think COVID exists anymore. They've moved on. Every now and then they'll be like, fuck, do we try? Does anybody even care? No one cares down there. Up here, we're still like, Big Trudy went and bought himself 86 million doses of the vaccine, realized like, oh, no, they're not getting it. I got an idea. We're going to make ourselves a hockey commercial, completely botch it. We know that these morons love hockey, right? They love hockey. They eat it up. What's every loser that never went anywhere? What are they doing this time? Right? Yesterday at about 4:00, every single asshole in this country was parked on the couch watching the World Juniors, watching Team Canada get their asses kicked by Czechoslovakia or whatever they're called. Czechia, is that what they're calling? Whatever their new rebrand is. Watch the Canadian boys get their ass, and they just went straight to Twitter, let their thoughts out. So I think, as a drama teacher, if I'm a drama teacher, how do I stir up emotion? How do I get these people to get on side with the over purchasing that I did on my behalf? We have 8,900 fucking doses. I'm just pulling a number out of thin air here. 86 million doses. Okay. That's 16 doses for everybody. I think. I don't know. Don't do my math. Who cares? We're exaggerating for the joke. But how do I convince these assholes that just park their ass on the couch? They don't understand the art of acting the way that Big Trudy does, which he really goes for it. He's finally getting it. He's finally getting what he's always wanted. He went to, hold on, we got to pause this. He's finally getting to where he's always wanted to be, right? He went to school with that one cuck on Friends, and he went on to have a successful acting career. I think Matthew Perry was his name. Went on to have a somewhat successful acting career. Big Trudy, what did he do? He was a drama teacher and somewhere in Western Canada, got fired, got dismissed. That didn't work out. Couldn't hack it as a ski instructor. Tried boxing, got his ass lit up by some old bugger. Everything he's tried, he's failing at. But then he had a brilliant idea, which I kind of respect. It's like, hey, if I can't do these things the right way, why don't I follow my father's footsteps, get into power, then I can do whatever the hell I want. Which is exactly what these idiots did over this is brilliant. 1.3 million views. I mean, the guy's doing it. Just be a social media actor at this point. Make sketches, have your little show, act it out. But they came together, and this is brilliant. So let's read the tweet. Omar Al-Gafra tweeted out this. This is the transport minister, I believe. The Minister of Transport and MP for the Mississauga Centre here in Canada. All right. Old Omar tweets this out. Santa, it's time. Will my mission to authorize Santa in the Canadian airspace be successful? Watch and find out. This is what I mean. These guys are full-blown influencers at this point. They're just online actors. Everybody, right? We're all gunning to be famous. We all want to be famous. We go and throw our TikToks out. We do our little fucking rants on there. Look at me. I'm the moron that started that, 5 years ago? Was it 5 or 6 years? I started doing that. I started ranting and raving on the internet, and now I'm following my dream. And now Big Trudy, see, me and him have a lot in common. Him and I, him and I have a lot in common. We both were so I don't want to say scared, but something held us back from chasing our true dream. His true dream is to be that actor that everybody loves. You want to see him on the big screen. The big screen didn't want him. Pushed him to be a drama teacher, right? I'm going to show you the way. I've never been down that path. I don't know the path, but I have friends that have. And I'm going to show you the way. Big Trudy, on the other hand, had to he took a different little way to get there. Now he's living his fucking dream. Uncle Hack, ranting on the internet, trying to be a dipshit. Always wanted to do stand-up. What happened? It took all those years to gain and muster the courage to get up there and tell a little jokey joke to everybody. And here I sit before you, telling jokey jokes to the fine people of Canada. Hopefully soon the fine people of America. This is great. Okay, so Big Trudy just comes out of a government building. He's checking his watch. You know, it is time. He's got a big line here, okay? He's got a big line.
Omar, it's time.
Omar, it's time. Nailed his line. Seeing these two in what in a suspenseful build-up of like an action movie part, you look at both of them and you're like, first off, I wouldn't fear either of you, you know, in a villain type scenario or even in a hero type scenario as well, because I believe that this is going to play out where they allow Santa into the Canadian airspace. So that way he can come and give all the little presents to the wonderful children of the country. Only the vaccinated children. It says it in here somewhere. I know they're like, it's only the vaccinated children. Santa only comes to the vaccinated children. And these two right here, top secret mission, okay? Omar. He's over here surrounded by fucking Toyota Tercels. He's in his little sneakers. You know, Christ, he's the height of a Toyota Corolla. Oh yeah. The attention to detail. The license plate says ho ho ho. He's in the back now. I'll turn this down. Oh, the suitcase. Yes, the suitcase. He now possesses the power to allow Santa inside the airspace of Canada. Will he make it there in time? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. The Canadian government is just truly... Ho, ho, ho. Are you going to be red-pilled or blue-pill? And it's all in Christmas bulbs. Okay. What happens here is going to smash the Christmas ornament. Checks his 6. Now he's ready. What is inside? Oh my word, he has the key to get it. Very excessive for just saying, just for allowing Santa Claus to come deliver presents. It is funny to think that even, it is funny to think like, let's be honest. Santa is a magical man that can travel the world in 24 hours. Every household in the world, he can travel that. And in the time that these jackasses, we've all seen Air Canada over the past little while, you know, our beloved airline here, with flights being delayed, canceled. Good luck getting home for the holidays. They've fucked that all up for you. Weather permitting, and just the sheer lack of integrity that comes along with that company. This operation had to be started in September for it to go through. That's how fast our government works. And when I say September, I'm saying September of 2019 that this went into motion, so that way Santa Claus could come and take up a little airspace here in December of 2022. So I'm just saying, the competence of our government, they foreseen that, you know, after COVID, we're going to have some issues here, and we're going to have to clear up a little airspace for Santa to come along. Oh, launch mission. Oh my word, he's just going to barely make it. He made it. Santa Claus is able to fly around the world. Oh, this is beautiful. God almighty.
Santa is cleared for travel in Canadian airspace. He's coming. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and stay safe.
Oh, it hurts my heart. That's what I mean. Like, the government of Canada is producing funnier videos than the CBC. CBC comedy can't even write something that good. First time I watched that, I pissed myself laughing. I was having a heyday with that. My sweet dear Lord Jesus, is this the most unwatchable but comedic thing I have seen produced in Canada for quite some time? True geniuses, absolute geniuses down there at the transport minister's office in Mississauga. You know, hey, Big Trudy, I got ourselves a little idea that we can get millions of views. Does it require me wearing blackface? No. All right, what is it? Well, see, I want to paint you. He gets all Scorsese with it. I want to see you in low light. I want to shoot you full body frame so that way we can see that muscular build that you've been, obtaining now for quite some time from surf lessons in Hawaii and Tofino. And we are going to make you seem like you have all the knowledge and power inside this universe, right here in the great country of Canada. We want to shoot you in long lens, so that way we can really bring out you and blur the background, so you are the subject of this project. You are going to be what they talk about. You will be nominated for the greatest social media video of all time. We want to make you seem like you're who would be like what's James Bond's like little assistant? I can never remember that, but always calls. We want to call you know what I'm talking about, the grandma that would always call it Bond. Get to my office. We want you to look like that. God almighty. Very difficult. Very, very difficult to sit through that for the second time, okay? It was a one and done the first go around to watch that and be like, God, how can anybody take us serious? It is. Politicians now are just getting to that point where I don't think they care anymore. I think the care was left at the beginning of the pandemic. Now they're like, whatever. We learned that we possess some power. We can get away with some shit. Let's make some fucking funny videos, Let's just all hang out, have a good time, get a camera rolling. We'll do a little bit of acting, what we've all dreamed of, We were growing up, right? It's a big game day speech. Big Trudy's in there, like looking around at all the ministers and being like, look, did all of us want to be here right now? Did we want to be here right now in this very moment governing? Right? You want to do this? How much does it suck every time you tweet and, everybody calls you a faggot? That sucks, doesn't it? Every time you tweet something, somebody out there just has something rude to say to you. That's a bummer, isn't it? We're not having fun doing this, are we? No. Hear me out, okay? Hear me out. I went to drama school. Okay, I went to drama school. I taught it. Somebody out there that I taught is living my goddamn dream right now, okay? Doing commercials for fucking Tide. Somebody out there is getting those parts. It could have been me. But no, I decided other paths. I decided on a different path. I decided that my life could have more value. And today I sit before you and I tell you that it doesn't. I don't want to be prime minister. I want to act, baby. Let's make some fucking videos that this goddamn country can respect. And then they're all like staring and I was like, what do you guys say? You know? What do you say we go out there in the fourth quarter and just win this game, man? Embarrassing. Oh, it's difficult. But I'm telling you, we're hanging on. We're hanging on to the virus up here. It's still like headline news. We're still like, we get updates every day on what we should and shouldn't be doing. It still exists here. This is a major issue in Canada. Every fucking week we got an update from Canada. All right, we're going to get into this CTV News article. The holidays have just been beating the hell out of me. I've been overeating like a sack of shit. Oh, God, I've probably put on 10 pounds of just sheer fat. The headline: Canada's top doctor on preparing for the next battle with COVID-19 and future epidemics. Oh, we're already planning ahead. Let's get into this. We got a little ad, so we're going to let that play through. Nothing. Ad 1 of 4? Holy shit. Boy, oh boy, media has taken a hit in this past little while, hasn't it? No, like, other than, do you guys read any of that shit out there? Is anybody reading any of it? Nobody cares, I don't think, at this point. We read headlines and we're like, bullshit, right? You just know it's bullshit. And you just, 4 ads? My sweet Christ. Really doing anything to stay alive these days. 4 ads on one video. Holy shit. Mainstream media is just taking a hit. Nobody cares about it no more. You know, we want to watch like 22-year-old tattooed goth girls with fat titties shake them on TikTok. That's what we want to watch. If that girl was saying the news, we would all pay attention. Okay, here we go. Dr. Teresa. We got 9 minutes of this horse shit, but we won't go through the whole thing. There's only a few chunks in here.
Happy to have Canada's top doctor, Theresa Tam, Chief Public Health Officer, joining us now from Ottawa. Dr. Tam, always a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time today.
Thank you for having me.
You heard from Dr. Kieran Moore. He believes Ontario's flu season might have peaked. Do you agree?
Well, across Canada, there's quite a few different viruses circulating. I think you've heard about RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, and COVID-19, of course, is still circulating at quite high levels, and then influenza. I think depending on where you're in the country, your influenza activity is going to be slightly different. In some areas of the country, we believe that there's a slight drop for influenza related indicators, but that's still at quite a high level of influenza activity. Many people still get.
We're still hanging on, you know, and we still bitch about our healthcare system too. You know, it's like, wow, the healthcare system can't handle it. You had 2 years. The Chinese built like 900 hospitals in the span of 3 hours, and we're still arguing on whether or not our healthcare system is able to handle what's coming next. It's just a goddamn hot debate up here.
Sick on the way down.
And I understand. Like I understand. Like I am an idiot. Okay, I am a moron. I'm just trying to see things for what we kind of present them as. It's all happy horse shit. We all just want happy horse shit, don't we? We want to know that we're doing the right thing. So I feel like a vast majority of Canadians are very malleable. You know, you can massage them into thinking that they are doing the right thing every moment of the day just by going in. If you wear your mask, even though, like, whatever, is it effective? Is it not? Who fucking cares? It's more so how easily convinced we are in Canada without questioning nothing. Nobody's questioning anything anymore, and that's really worrisome. You know how easy we are told, or how easily we are manipulated into thinking that what these officials are saying is the right thing. Now, am I the top medical officer? No, but I should be allowed to ask questions. We can't ask questions anymore. That's what bothers me, is that you ask a question and you're ostracized from groups. You're ostracized from your friend groups, your family. That's what's worrisome. The science behind it should always be, there should always be an answer, right? But there doesn't seem to be a clear answer. And I understand we're also trying to figure this out. We're trying to build a plane as we're flying it, and it's not exactly working. There's going to be mistakes made. I'm willing to accept that, But as we move down the field, right? As we move down the field here in the second half, and Big Trudy gave the big speech about doing more content and getting out there and trying to convince the kids that they need to be trans and vaccinated, we still don't get the opportunity to question things. That's what irritates me. That's the only thing that bugs me about this whole thing. Anytime that a question arises, like, is this the right way? Everybody, we turn into gorillas, start dragging our knuckles, and we want to bash that person. Well, have you thought about medically assisted suicide? For having thoughts like that? Do you think maybe those thoughts are a little radical, and you might be radicalized, and you might need to be removed and pushed to the fringes of society until you're lonely, depressed, nobody wants to talk to you? Maybe you just need one last needle. One last needle. We call it the NyQuil needle. Because you're going to take a long rest for having silly ideas in your head. Silly ideas, silly questions. You're going to question somebody? What kind of maniac are you? You think sitting back and having questions is a reasonable thing? You don't have any trust for these people? Huh? That's what I mean. It's irritating. We're supposed to just shut the fuck up and do as you're told. And anybody who asked any questions, whether it was from the right or the left, right? It doesn't matter. Most people are like, that's what I like about my group of friends. They have questions and they want answers, And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
That peak. And by the way, there are more than one influenza strains. So even after this increase perhaps comes down, we could get other influenza viruses circulating later in the season. And I think as one of your guests just indicated, respiratory season can continue for a number of months ahead.
And based on the data that you're seeing from Ontario, would you say that it appears things have peaked in that particular province?
There are some indicators that seems to be reached the top of that peak and it's coming down slightly. So that we will see whether that trend continues, which is great. That's a positive sign. And maybe people have been doing additional measures also to reduce the spread of viruses. So continue to do that. That would really help hospitals and the very pressured health system.
Right there, the pressured health system. The pressured health system. The verbiage of these assholes. The audacity to say the pressured health system. After giving the axe to nurses, doctors that were questionable about vaccines, right? They were questionable about it. We just need a little more data. This seems like very spontaneous that this is the only solution, right? This is the only one. And if you questioned or refused to get that vaccine, you weren't allowed to work in the hospital no more. Prior to that, though, they worked in the hospital the whole time while this was going on. They got sick a few times, maybe had to take a few days off, but no, now you aren't allowed to return to your job. Whether you like that job or not, you are gone, fired for having any sort of, curiosity of what the powers that be are trying to massage into your brain. Don't have thoughts, don't have feelings, don't have any of that. Be numb to everything and just accept the words that come out of our mouths. A pressured health system. And then here's the thing is this right here is something that plays to the emotional side of us as human beings, right? And the emotional side, Canadians by nature, we try to be considerate, I believe. We try to be considerate of others. But then when any of those people that we're trying to be considerate of, once they get the idea that they can play up whatever problems that they have, they really like to posture on everybody else as if, their issues are supposed to be at the forefront. Your issues, you are now the center of attention, and we are going to you are the guide through this storm. And anybody who questions that person, right? That's the thing, is like playing to the emotions of people inside or with the pressured healthcare system, because those that are sick and vulnerable, then they posture up a little. But if you question anything revolving around, what, you don't think that people with cancer fucking... No, I'm not saying that, right? I just have questions. So then they are able to, we pin each other, or we're divided, and we're unable to speak to one another because this person has wild thoughts and ideas of like what the right way of going about it is. And this person right here has, they can play a victim a little. They can play possum and drag you in and make you feel like an asshole for questioning a few things. Why is the healthcare system like this? It's shattered healthcare system. And this is a fun time of year because news outlets in the country get to sit down with, all the top politicians and have a year in review. How do they do? How did they do? How is this wonderful elected official doing in that position of power? And the media then, they get to question. Those questions are also, I would imagine, sifted through, right? It's not like it's a pressure interview where we're trying to get to the bottom of some things. But in one particular interview, Big Trudy is sitting there, and he's asked about the healthcare system. Now, it's very broken, and I don't think there's an amount of money that we could throw at our healthcare system. That's the thing. It's like, he says something like that, but then throws millions and millions of dollars in aid to the Ukraine. But meanwhile, at home, our healthcare system is crumbling, okay? However you feel about that war is how you feel. I've got my own shit in my head, but when it's any sort of nationalism now is considered far right by wanting the best for everybody around you. Which is a weird thing to think, because we sit here and we're barking at one another about something like healthcare, and then somebody who's like a nationalist will stand up and be like, no, that money should go into something like healthcare. And you'd be like, why, you don't care about the Ukraine? There's always something. There's no resolutions. It's just like, how can we pit people against one another to keep us confused, scared, and divided? Because, like, if you really sat back and seen it for what it is, it's actually like, it's literally depressing. I envy those who are just like dumb enough to survive, or smart enough to survive and just dumb enough to like not really understand politics and the theatrical bullshit that goes along with it to keep human beings against one another. I know that this isn't a very fun, exciting episode. Maybe I'm not on the top of my game and sitting here trying to be the funniest person alive, but it's like actually annoying. Like I said, about like not being able to question any of the hot topics that arise when it comes to politics or the science or, you know, even social issues or the culture war that's taking place on how you think. Like words like far right. Everything is far right now. Anything that goes across or isn't like this global community or isn't extremely progressive, you know, isn't extremely progressive. Like if you're like, hey man, maybe, just maybe, whatever. You want to have drag shows, have drag shows. Do whatever the fuck you want. But like, let's leave these impressionable kids out of it. Leave them alone. Let them play with fucking Power Rangers or whatever the fuck they got. Let them play wrestlers, you know? Let them fucking tackle one another in the backyard in a game of football. Let the little girls pretend that, you know, they're princesses of Narnia. Let them just do their thing. Leave them be. Leave them out of all this bullshit, right? Leave them out of all this bullshit. But no, that's a far-right ideology. It's incredibly depressing is what it is. It is incredibly depressing. I've had enough of this fucking lady. Get her out of there. Get her out of there. There's no hate mail this week. Everybody's too drunk to write an email, which is wild. No, it is. I see people that are, like I said, just smart enough to survive. They understand like money. I need to acquire money. And how do I get money? Oh, I need a job. If I have a job and I can just do whatever, I'll pack fucking railroad ties for miles. I'll dig a hole, you know? I'll hand somebody a screwdriver. Simple little task tasks in exchange for money. And that's how I'm going to survive. But dumb enough to just not understand what's going on culture war-wise, what's going on in the sense of like media psyops that are taking place, just completely removed from that. And like that right there is like that's a dream person in the eyes of any governing body. You know, you just look and you're like, that is perfect. That guy right there, I can convince to build an incinerator for all the bodies that we're going to inject in the next 5 years with this medically assisted suicide program that we just came up with. You know, you don't want to live. You're depressed. You know, you're depressed because there's been studies that have proven like smarter people tend to be more depressed from the actual sense of reality that settles into their soul of knowing like, oh, this is a game and I'm never going to win at it. I am just stuck in this cog. I am a cog in the machine and I just need to produce, consume, and live. That's all I need to do. And I can't control everything that I think I can control. I can't. All I am able to control is this tiny little space on the planet, my home, what my home looks like, what I cook inside my home, these little things. But beyond, outside these walls, I control nothing. You know, all the power goes out, I'm fucked. Then I don't get to cook. I don't get to consume television. I don't get to distract myself from problems that I have. I get to just stare at a wall. I get to stare at a wall. I get to look outside at everybody else that's frantically panicking in the streets and just think to myself, boy, I don't matter. If I die, I get a hour and a half long service, some tears for a while, and a small group of people will remember me until they pass. And then my memory slowly fades down this long, winding road. My history will be removed. My importance on this earth didn't matter that much, right? You look in the mirror and you be like, did I impact the world? No. Very few people get the opportunity to do that, and they're hand-selected, right? They're hand-selected, and you get a dream. You can dream big. Having a big dream is great because it has like, it gives you a sense of purpose almost to chase this dream down. You can waste your life doing that, you know. Thankfully, something like social media exists that we can just plug in and escape. We can live through other people's moments, other people that are out there living. Because, you know, your job doesn't allow you to do that. You know, you made a few mistakes early on in life, like knocking up some poor lady at a bush party. Now you're stuck with you got your 5-year-old that you got to take care of with this woman that you're slowly growing to learn more and more about. Deep down, you know, did you both want this? Not overly, but you're a good guy. And for the sake of your offspring, you'll devote some time to ensure that this young human can have a better life than what you had. But as time moves on, as it does, you slowly accept the fact that those dreams of ever becoming, you know, that musician you wanted to be, you know, you were hitting some open mics, you got together, you got a band going, and now you have to devote more time to the family to make sure the fucking home stays. And that dream slowly starts to dissipate. Reality settles in. The control of the future controlling your future is now left. It doesn't exist anymore. And you, my friend, are just, I should write the fucking commercial for the maids. The medically assisted suicide, I should be the one writing the commercial for it, you know? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll make a spoof commercial. Have your dreams died? Well, so can you. Presenting the medically assisted suicide in Canada. Are you young, lonely, depressed, can't find a lover, can't find a date? That's okay. There's too many of you. There's too many women. There's too many women with big ideas in their head that they deserve a CEO of a Fortune 500 company and should be spreading their pussy on a yacht in Bora Bora. Do you have that? You don't. You got a fishing boat that you put in a lake that looks like sewage water to pull out pike. Do you think a woman wants to ride around in that? You're wrong. They don't. They want nothing to do with that. So you, my friend, are going to be lonely forever. Forever and ever and ever. Why be lonely when you can be dead? Dun, 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 dun. This message is brought to you by the government of Canada. There we go. I'm going to leave you on a depressing note. Isn't that nice of me to just try and sink in a bit of reality? I'm like looking in the mirror right now. I'm like, oh God, this is me. Whoa. No, don't kill yourself. I'd hate to know. I don't want to hear about any of that. I hope to God that nobody out there is young, has a healthy body, a mind that you can see things for what they are, and you don't allow it to depress you. I hope, because that's a fuck you back. Nothing I love more than a good fuck you story. You know, somebody who rises from the ashes. They've beaten themselves into the ground, you know, alcoholism, drug abuse, abusive relationships, whatever it may be. The list of whatever has fucked you in the past. Maybe a business partner robbed you blind. Maybe a girlfriend, ex-wife took you for half. You were living in your fucking car and you built yourself back up. I love a good success story like that, like a phoenix from the ashes. I love it when people do great things with minimal resources and become to be or grow into these wonderful humans. That's what I enjoy. I love people that just experience the finer things of life. You know, sometimes you have a few too many cocktails and you got to let loose. That's what it's all about. It's about just pushing forward. So please, if you, this time of year is kind of shitty. I know I'm not a fucking big Christmas fan, but if you are going through some things, man, just reach out, talk to somebody, please. I don't want to fucking hear more about people taking their own lives because of situations they're in. It's not worth it. So if you are feeling blue, just know, man, there's a lot of man or woman. There's a lot of you out there that are like that. And that's why I enjoy hitting the road and bringing this type of comedy that is deemed, many things. There's not, I was trying to think of like an exact specific word for what we do now. And it is, you know, you can come around. Basically, it's like, if Tony Robbins did hate speech, that's it. You come to a Danger Cat show, we just want to get you laughing. We want you to forget about all the bullshit for an hour and a half. You come down, you have some laughs and drinks with us. One guy fucking messaged me the other day, hey man, I want to just apologize. I was really drunk when I met you. That's the fucking point. I don't care that you're hammered. I hope you're hammered. If that's what you came there to do and you had a few too many drinks and you're having a good time, sometimes one slips away on you. Don't apologize to me. I want you to be at the show and have the best time ever. And if that involves you having a few too many drinks, don't think I'm ever going to hold it against you that you came up to me after a show and you're fucking hammered and you're being a silly willy. That's okay. Nobody cares. We laugh about it. There's nothing wrong with that. I want you to come out and have a good time and just have an experience of some sort. Something that you can remember. A fond memory, you know? And anyways, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Unclehack Podcast. We appreciate the hell out of you, and we will see you next week with another episode. So, bon voyage.